Today I want to talk about why Vim and how to get started. There are plenty of great text editors out there, so why spend time learning Vim? First, I should probably define what I mean when I say Vim. To me, Vim is two things, software and key bindings. Vim, the software, can be found on all sorts of systems. All Nix variants, including macOS, that I've worked with have had either VI, which is Vim's predecessor, or Vim itself. This means I can get the job done on all of these systems without a second thought. You don't want to be fixing a problem on a remote system to find out that Nano or Pico aren't there. But VI nearly always will be. So while Vim doesn't translate to VI one-to-one, it certainly helps. And Vim itself is also very prevalent. Vim is also a terminal-based application, so you can work with it remotely using SSH. This is a lighter weight protocol than RDP or VNC, or even trying to use X forwarding, so latency is much less of an issue. This means I can be productive on any Nix-like machine from just about anywhere. The second part about Vim is its key bindings and its modal nature. These are distinct characteristics of VI and Vim, but other text editors have been implementing them as well. All of the text editors I've used support Vim key mappings, either natively or through community plugins. Some highlights are Visual Studio Code with the Vim plugin, IntelliJ and other JetBrains IDEs with the Idea Vim plugin, and Sublime Text's Vintage mode. And even Emacs supports Vim key bindings through plugin or a whole distribution of plugins called Evil, which is pretty funny. Now, even other applications support Vim that aren't typically text editors, including Firefox. All right, so pop open Firefox, open up the developer tools, open up this menu, settings, key bindings, Vim. So that's a surprise. So what does that do? Well, if you press Shift F4, that brings up the scratchpad. Now that's Shift F4, not Alt F4. Don't do that one. But this little editor has full Vim key binding support. Well, not full, but pretty good. And even more than that, it has hinting even with types. So it says log takes text, which is a string. So if you just throw that in there, you can take. So this is a full little editor that you can pop this thing open anywhere that Firefox is around and practice your JavaScript and your Vim at the same time. And I think this is probably a little known feature about Firefox, but after I found it, I found some good uses for it. It um, runs all of this JavaScript in the context of the browser, of the current page that you opened it on. So whatever's in the global scope, you can actually access and start really interacting with, and that can be useful for debugging and running a few one-off functions. And you can even highlight and run snippets of JavaScript right here. So if I change this to, instead of squaring it to, to cubing it, run it again. Don't redefine the const because it re-executes it, like I said, in the context every time. So redeclaring a constant is an error. So that's why this message right here gives me an error, which is pretty awesome. But there it is. So that is the Scratchpad. Even if you use other text editors, you'll probably find Vim emulation there. So use Vim to learn its key mappings natively and appreciate that those mappings you can carry with you just about everywhere. So, but okay, you can learn these key bindings, you can take them with them everywhere, but why are they important? So Vim's concept of operators and motions are addicting. They make editing text feel like pulling off a combo in a fighting game. They let you make sweeping changes with precision, all without moving your hands off the keyboard. Keeping your hands on the keyboard is great for productivity, but is really important for ergonomic reasons. Moving your hand back and forth between the keyboard and mouse, even those few inches, can contribute to RSI, especially if you're like me and basically all of your hobbies involve sitting in front of a computer. Being comfortable is important. So that brings us to is can you really use Vim every day to write code? And the answer to that is yep. Vim can get you anything that you need from linting, hinting, through plugins from the community, as well as auto completion tabs and all of that built right in. The latest versions of Vim supports async operations, so even if you tried these features in the past with Vim, they feel even more performant now. So it's a very snappy experience. Vim has a wide range of plugins to support languages and tooling, so I'm sure you can get it to work for your needs. I use it daily for JavaScript, TypeScript, Python, and occasionally Go. Setting up an environment is a little outside the scope for this video, so I'll make another video showing how to set those up. Alright, so how do you start learning Vim? Well, thankfully Vim ships with its own tutorial. So in your terminal, type in Vim tutor, press enter, and there you are. This thing is meant to be like a narrative, so you read it from top to bottom. It should be about 25 to 30 minutes to complete, and it assumes no Vim knowledge to the point where it says, now make sure that your shift lock key is not depressed and press the J key enough times to move the cursor so that lesson 1.1 completely fills the screen. Okay, so press and hold J, zoom that down, make it fill the screen, and there you are. So this starts from the beginning, goes pretty deep, and I think it's a great place to begin learning Vim. And I hope that it works for you. And the next video will pick off where Vim tutor left, and I'll see you in that video.